As we've seen, last time, I believe we haven't covered SWOT, right? We've covered
Mhm.
flow chart and we have covered roadmap, right?
Yep.
Let's start, SWOT. SWOT is quite favorite tool among, various companies, organizations. ये क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? Full करना है मेरे को उसको. क्या हो गया उसको? हाँ, नहीं आ रहा है.
Yeah. Okay. Everything is okay.
Yeah, everything goes no problem. So SWOT analysis. SWOT is analysis technique used to determine your strength, weakness, opportunities and threat. इसको SWOT बोलते हैं. This is also quite old tool. Specifically, this is evolved from a psychological aspect of a given person to be analyzed in a given situation. So, what are a person's strength, weakness? What are opportunity he or she has, and what are the threats he or she feels? ये psychological technique था. Then implemented in the industrial world. So they are trying to understand new business, new projects, how we can analyze on the SWOT analysis. Okay, and this gives you a really good idea in terms of score, in terms of, they also call it SWOT quadrant. So you normally have four quadrants. So top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. There's a SWOT. We will see how we implement these things. So this is the way we normally categorize whatever things comes to your mind and then decide, is it strength weakness are positive, strength weakness are positive thing, opportunity depends on how much opportunity you have, and threats is a negative thing. Okay, so these are the four things we normally try to calibrate for any new business, new initiative, new projects and so on and so forth. So SWOT analysis can be applied to an entire company or an organization. So how do you stand on a given day, on a given quadrant? Right now, the strength might be I have a well-settled brand, well-settled distribution lineup, and so on and so forth. Weakness can be Trump by is there, who are basically President Trump having really conservative implementation in terms of governmental policy. Opportunities are getting reduced, so on. So threats, yes, the new immigration laws, new citizenship laws, they are really killing the business in terms of the user are getting reduced in numbers and so on and so forth. So you can do a SWOT analysis on a given situation in terms of day-to-day business as well. Most commonly, SWOT analysis uses are organizational level to determine how closely a business is aligned with its growth trajectory. So growth trajectory in the sense, let's say if I want to increase my business to Midwest region. So what are my strengths? I might get a good extension of my current distributor in the Midwest region. Simple enough. Okay, this is the things my company could do well. The qualities that separate you from your competitors. So competitors don't have these, what you can say, accrued business or known distributor network and so on and so forth. Internal resources such as skill level. Well, I have my production line set up, so I can get it, increase quite easily, or I can skill the label with train the trainer approach kind of stuff, so that I can reduce my even new skill build up cost as well. Okay, tangible assets such as IPR. Well, if I have patents for a given production, I can use them without paying anything additionally. So these are my strengths. So weakness, well, things my company lacks. I might need to procure a new office there. Is it costly? Not costly? Again, depending on if it's a weakness or strength, things your competitors do better than you. If there are any better monopolistic organizations there, I don't know how to crack that monopolistic consumer likings barrier. Resource limitations. If I go to a new place, I might to find new resources for the local office, local distribution lines, and so on and so forth. Is it easy? Is it difficult? Are they costly? And so on and so forth. And how the USP, unique selling proposition, works there. Here, I might have a monopolistic hold on selling pens, a particular type of pens, but there we might have other competitors who are, selling such pens for years together. So on and so forth. Opportunities, what type of opportunities can have in that region? Understand market specific products. So like I said, if there's another pen company there which is well settled, I might have a threat from them saying, okay, they are well settled, the brand is known to the regional public and so on and so forth. But yeah, still, if I start, selling pen at a better sale price, to have a strategic goal build up for those regions, I can do it really well. and I can plan it out that way. And then emerging need of products and services. What type of new products and services I can adopt to that region where I can set up a business. So rather than pen, I can start with pencil. I can start with a refill pen, ink pen, some different product which is more attracted by those customers, or those customers have never used that product, which is very useful, and so on and so forth. So I can have a dedicated consumer base for me. And then press media coverage, uh, how I can plan to build my brand there. So I might have to capture some advertising boards on the roadside. I might to capture some advertisement in the daily newspaper, websites, and so on and so forth. Or I can tie up with the municipal corporation so that they might suggest a couple of areas to help their citizens to use this product very effectively, and so on and so forth. Now coming back to threats, what are the threats do I have, right? So emerging competitors, changing regulatory environment, negative press, changing customer attitudes towards your company because your company is new there. And this might happen in a given point of time. Okay. This has been developed by WordStream. That's the logo there. And this is how a simplistic analytical method for any new product, new company for a given region. Okay. Does that make sense? Any questions as of now?
No.
Simple enough, right? In terms of new job acquisition, right? So what are your strengths? Could you think it through? We are trying to acquire any job, right? So what are your strengths? Technical knowledge, whatever we gain from our discussions, hands-on workshops, you know it, how to apply and all. Okay. Anything else?
We can say that stay positive is also my strength, and making, if it's we can say that also a strength to work with team and that stuff also, we can say that.
We are a good team player. You can work for extended hours. That's really, these are your strengths. Very, very rightly said. Now let's come down to weakness. What are your weaknesses? The visa situation is one weakness. Other than that,
Sleeping.
coming in, please.
Sleeping is my biggest weakness.
Okay, communication. Okay, right. Communication might
No,
be a,
no.
we'll work on that. No,
Sleeping.
sleeping. Okay,
I
sleeping.
sleep a lot.
Okay. It's not a weakness, it's a part of life, right? It's a lifestyle rather than anything else. See, you need to have at least 8 hours or 7 hours sleep, as per the medical team suggest you, or the various
Yeah, in a medical team it suggests, but me, if you told me to sleep a whole day, I can do that.
That's good. That's good. Means your body demands rest whenever it needs. That's a good thing. That's a kind of um, healthy traits to have, frankly speaking. Again, does it mean that you sleep every day, full day? No. We do work. We do, we go out. We do our, course. We do go to job, come back, and so on and so forth, right? So this way we are basically accustomed to these things. But whenever you get sleep on daily basis, you might not be able to get 8 hours sleep. Does that a right statement, sir?
Yes.
That's why the body demands some more sleep. So during weekends, you might take a longer nap, and it's a normal I think standard operating procedure for throughout the world nowadays. So you normally slog during the week. Slog might be the hard word, but yes, let's use it. And then you might take a rest during weekends, and that's why. Now, if you look at the trends nowadays, people plan for leaves more often. In our good old days, one leave of a week or a week and a half for a year, good for us. But nowadays, if you see, people normally go leave for at least 3-4 days every quarter. This is because
Yeah.
more. There are competitions more. There are more challenges from our environment as well. We can see lots of floods, rains, and blah 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 things nowadays. So things are getting disturbed. So our inner this thing needs some rest, needs some, what you can say, way to
Break from a work.
right. Break from the work is very rightly said, sir. So this is the way we can build our business. What are the opportunities do you have right now?
Opportunities, we can say that it depends what kind of work we are doing. So according to that, we take the opportunities like benefits, what benefits we are getting while working, and which work we are going to do good, what opportunity comes to our company, and what opportunities we can get it from the companies, and specific things from the market, like if I want to grab something and there is a deal, like a deal on any kind of stuff, and
Market
I want that,
discuss.
and that's also opportunity that we are getting a same item in a less price. So it's a mainly we can say that the opportunities comes very few, but you know how to grab it.
Right. So you get accustomed to grabbing an opportunity in the least availability scenarios as well. That's very rightly put. Now, what are the threats?
So
The
it's
governmental policy changes, the more stringent, stringent scrutiny process for visa.
mostly I think those two things I know, especially the negative thoughts, like negative news, negative thoughts like this, and simply the environment of the companies become very bad on that time you feel get threats, and on that time that's it.
Very, very rightly said. Very rightly said. So these are the things. So on a mota larger scale, you understood these things, right? How to do
Hmm.
analysis. It's not a rocket science. And again, this is basically a gut feel. How an analyst feel about a given situation. If
Hmm.
he or she have worked in those situations, he can do it very easily because he have done it earlier, right? So there are hardly 20-30% changes to a new a similar type of analysis in terms of SWOT, right?
So if they ask about that in strength, we can say that normally uh, qualities of we get what we say that we
Okay,
can analyze the stuff from the competitors and make the quality more better, so it's become more separate to from your competitors, so
right.
we can make more that strength and internal internal source of our own skills and get more knowledge from others.
Very rightly said. Now let's take a actual interview questions which I asked quite a few times. If you want to purchase a new car, let's
Uh-huh.
you want to purchase a new car, your old car might be old or might giving problems quite often. So you're purchasing a new car. How do you do a SWOT analysis? This is an actual interview question. Huh? So think it through. What are the strengths? What could be the
Like,
strength?
strength it should be like what is the budget first of all. On that thing we can say that first of all we have to check the budget, and after that the criteria what we needed in that budget and which car is coming.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Mhm.
You need to analyze this thing as a third party. So let's say Ravindra is trying to purchase a car, right? Budget,
Mhm.
he'll go for a car which is suits his pocket. If he couldn't buy
Mhm.
Mercedes, Ferraris, and blah blah thing, he might go for Chrysler. He might go for a mid-range sedan like Honda Accord, or he might have a problem with his pocket, so he might go for a used car, right? And used
Mhm.
car can start as low as $1,000, $2,000,
Yeah,
and
that's why I ask for the budget, right? First of all,
but
on the budget we able to do the analyzation.
these are opportunities, right? What type
Okay.
of pocket you have and which opportunity suits me. Let's try to understand strength first. So I can go for any car, any type of vehicle at that point. Okay, so this is my strength. As to which suits our pocket. So I have a flexibility in my decision. That's my strength. Does that make sense, sir?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, what are other strengths?
Mm,
I can choose the color according to me. I might have a black car last time. This time I might go for a red car. Again, depending upon situation, depending upon liking, this might change. But
that's a strength for a coloring option, or that's an opportunity, I thought.
that's also opportunity. But strength in the sense, I might not have used my coloring options previously because of my family's pressure and blah blah thing. Here I might.
We can say that I just want to buy a new car, not an old car. That's also strength. We can say that.
That's very rightly said. Okay, now let's go to weakness. What type of weakness could you understand?
Weakness in the cars. We can say that. Oh, in the cars, I don't think so. They have any weakness
Uh-huh. Yeah, it can be possibility.
because when I wanna buy a car, as I know, I just go for the weakness is like a reviews. Check the reviews from the Google, and on that time I make the decision what is the review and what is the drawback of that brand, especially for the resale one. We can say that because mostly if we gonna buy the car, we preferably see that which have a good resale value. So that's not a weakness, that's also opportunity. I don't think so there is any kind of weakness in a vehicles.
Sure. Let me share something to you. Okay, it's coming out. Oh, come on. Okay, could you see these things?
Yes.
So if you search on a Google, you'll get many of such templates or availability. So in the strengths, evolve industry, you might go get a new good technological advanced car like the Tesla truck and whatnot. Constant product innovation will let you to get some good big LCD LED screen. Factories are developing in various regions rather than nations. So like if you are move to a region where you have Ford factory, Chrysler factory, you might get a good rate there as well. Okay. And what are the weakness here? Bargaining power of a customers. Because there are, less customer nowadays due to challenge situation, the bargaining power might have been reduced. Government regulations like that,
Safety features and that stuff they have to be more add or something like that.
yeah, the exhaustion standard and blah blah thing. High employee turnover, so there are many cars, many used cars, so there are less sell in new cars. Opportunity, we can go for a fuel efficient vehicle, electric vehicle, changing lifestyle and a customer like bigger car, previous car might have been smaller, the color one, the market expansion. So what type of I can move to another market and get new car which suits me. Threats again, rising competitions, sluggish economy, volatile in the fuel prices, and so on and so forth. So this is a kind of standard analysis given by Spend Edge. It's a standard strategic company for automotive sector companies to enhance
So
their
there is any more things of the weakness except these three?
Uh,
According to you, not to the analyst, what do you think are the weakness ones?
weakness is basically, I might have enough money, right? So I might not be able to go get a new car. I might have to, stay with the old car, or rather, get a used car. This can be a weakness in the whole process, right? And then again, the government regulation
But
might.
you asked the question about the cars, like SWOT analysis for the car, but you does not mention it's a brand new car or old car, so we can do anything according to that.
I mentioned, what do you normally say? I want to get a car, as simple as that. And am I
Uh-huh.
forced? If I'm forced to get a new car because my old car is not, compliant with the new government regulations, right? And so on. So forth. These things do happen in life. We do some adjustment like in India we had that Euro 4 implementation 8 months back. Many people have changed the air filter, changed the exhaust pipe, and they get away with it. And similarly, everywhere this can happen. So you might tweak and twist, for the regulations and get it working, or you might make that vehicle compliant to the new, thing, new regulations and get it working. But if you want to take a new car, of course, it's a good stress on your pocket, your saving, the loan, and various other things also. Even taking loan for some people, it's a stressful job because you might not be able to enjoy your day-to-day life because of the loan on your shoulders, and you are basically compelled to pay so much amount per month, going out of your pocket, and so on and so forth. So this can be a weakness as well. Again, as I told you, this is a personal trait. So the way analyst works is like they try to understand the situation and try to categorize all the thought process into these 4 quadrants. Does that make sense, sir?
Yeah.
Don't complicate it. I know we think a lot, and that's a kind of part of our cultural this thing as well. But yes, again, here. So how do you do it? Please categorize your points into these 4 quadrants: strength, weakness, opposition, threats. A well conducted SWOT analysis offers several unique advantages for business, providing a clear and structured framework for strategic decision making and business planning process. In short, whatever we are do, right, we
Mhm.
learn from our past. We get better day by day, each iteration, and that's how we normally do. So if your organization is using SWOT, they might give you your templates, or some mentor might guide you on that for the first time, second time, and from third time you can do it on your own. It's not that difficult. Only you need to implement your objective thought process to categorize your thoughts into these 4 quadrants. It's as simple as that. Okay, so you have to categorize what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your opportunities, and what are your threats. Okay, let me play you a good video here where we can understand from a good tutor how we can implement SWOT on our day-to-day basis. Okay, now next tool is almost an extension to SWOT. So what happened? Industry felt SWOT might not touch all those points which are required in the modern world. So from last 15, 20 odd years, some institutions like Carnegie Mellon, project management, bodies, they started using this pestle analysis. So pestle is a kind of extension to the SWOTs where we normally try to use some more points. So what is pestle? Political, economic, social, technological, legal, environmental. These are all surrounding situations we normally analyze our new business, new opportunities, and all those things. Rather than just 4, here we are using 6. There could be 10. Again, depending upon your organization's adaptability, we might use one or the other, right? So here is used as an extension of SWOT. Remember, the external matrix of the SWOT evolve as the credibility. Where is that? Okay, opportunity analysts should take advantage of as well as threats should be avoided. The external analysis is part of evaluating your organization's strategic positions within its market industry. So what we are trying to do within a given market, we are trying to understand, we are trying to cope up with the actual situation, or rather analyze the situation for our best thing and change our strategy so that we can get aligned with that situation and adapt to the market in the best possible way, so that we can have a better market reach, we can have a better market sale, we can have a better product, profitability lines, and so on and so forth. There are many variants of analysis to fulfill the need of business with a unique requirement. They can be used as a variant as per their need. For example, that if the technology factor doesn't matter to an industry, they can choose a variant that excludes it. So there are other pestle analysis like staple, slip, pestle, and so on and so forth. Again, depending upon choice of your organization's adaptability, we might use any of such template. So like SWOT here, we have six quadrants. So you can have an hexagon rather than a 4 thing. But again, depending upon the adaptability, you might use this thing. Okay, let me give you an example or a video to understand how pestle analysis get implemented in the industry, and then you can understand it more. But it's just an extension to the SWOT. So you don't have to really harp on that. Normally they ask SWOT. There's only one interview in the last 3 years where they've asked what is pestle. So you should know these political, economical, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental. So if you just need the long form of this pestle, that'll be more than enough. But yes, they ask a SWOT analyst for at least 6 to 10 interviews. So what is SWOT? And give me an example or give me an implementation detail of SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis is a really good tool to do. Now risk analysis. Now again, okay. Just before that, what do you mean by risk? Have you thought of risk? Risk यानी क्या? मैं रिस्क ले रहा हूँ, यानी मैं क्या ले रहा हूँ?
You are, we can say that we are playing with the luck.
नहीं
It's maybe we take it positive, negative. It depends. We are just getting the opportunity. Maybe we can lose it or we win it. It's depend.
so you are analyzing a situation,
Mhm.
take this opportunity. Will it hurt me more or will it be suitable for me, right? This is
Yep.
how you assess your risk.
So we can lose it or we can win it. It's
Yeah,
depend.
exactly. Now you got a point. So you're trying to assess the opportunity on basis of the threats and on basis of the positive or negative outcome. Let's say positive or negative outcome. Does that make sense, sir?
Mhm.
Now, risk analysis, right? Risk analysis is a really, really big area in terms of analyzing. There are analysts. They are separate positions altogether. Could I be the risk analyst? I can be, but then there are different tools available for risk analysis. Okay, so risk analysis refer to the assessment process that identifies potential for any adverse event. कुछ भी गलत हो रहा है कि नहीं ये मैं सोच रहा हूं. Does that make sense, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a definition. ये थोड़ा we need to memorize it one way or other, or try to keep it handy whenever you're answering such questions. Risk analysis refers to an assessment process that identifies the potential for any adverse event that may negatively affect organizations or the environment. Okay, getting heavy rains is a risk, right? So heavy rains might not come. The probability, now we are coming to the probability or the scores or occurrence phenomena and all those things. Okay, so let's say we are at the end of the month. So having low balance in my saving account at the end of the month, it's a normal occurrence, right?
Mhm.
So how do I implement in my real life? I tend to purchase all costly items early in the month, or I try to save money aside, say safekeeping, so that I can procure high cost item, high economic requirement type of options, right? So that's the way I normally plan my risk or avoid the risk. Avoid in the sense I bypass the risk, and I do it quite unknowingly. But here, our mind is being trained to avert risk from our birth. That's built in our culture to avoid risk or not to take unnecessary risk. But in some culture or in someone's thought process, taking risk is their ball game. That makes them click. That makes them live. Like share market analyst, the financial analyst in share market. There are risk analysts in share market also. They'll tell you if you want to purchase a share, share is ownership of a part ownership of a company. Will it be profitable? Will it be a challenge? How do you do that? They try to analyze the risk. So there's a risk analysis process, and there are two way of risk analysis process: qualitatively analyzing risk. How bad is the risk? Oh, it's a worse risk. Okay, then let's not do it. Oh no, it's very light risk. Oh, okay, it's okay risk. Okay, then we can go ahead with that. Driving fast on a road is a risk. And how's this risk? There might be a occurrence of somebody coming your way and you couldn't be able to brake within that distance. There might be a cop watching your speeding and so on and so forth, and you might get fined. So you might have to shell extra dollars unnecessarily. Yeah, right, it's a risk. So but it gives you a thrill. You feel really great, in control of your vehicle and blah 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 things, so you do drive fast. Someone might like driving fast, like I like driving fast. If the roads are really vacant and there are no turnings and tweakings and all, you can really drive fast. And if of course you need to have a good vehicle and blah blah thing, again that can be a risk. If you're driving in your old car, you couldn't go above 80, above 60, or depending upon the road speed limits and all. But again, these are the risks we have to understand. But you can go up to 5 miles per hour above speed limits. That's a thumb rule. Again, you're taking a risk. Does that mean that the cop won't charge you for that? Yeah, normally they don't. But if the cop is really what you can say, micromanage or not micromanage. It's not in a good mood type of stuff, and you're 2 miles above the speed limit, he might capture you and put your speed ticket or put your rash driving speed ticket. Okay, so that way things can happen. Again, depending upon the risk, analyze the way we do. We are doing it by, you can say with subconscious mind and blah blah thing as well. So we do, assess risk on day-to-day basis and so on and so forth. Conducting a risk analysis can help organizations, individuals determine whether they should undertake the project, approve the financial applications, implications, what action they want to, take to protect their interests as well. Again, depending upon situation, depending upon the, various factors within those control and uncontrolled limit, you normally decide to take the risk or not to take the risk. Simple enough. The weatherman is saying there's a chances of rain. So would you carry umbrella if you're walking down in a park? No, normally I'll decide, okay, the sky is really clear, so there might not be a, rain in next 5-10 minutes. I'll just go and come back quickly. So that's how we normally assess the risk and take the risk, or, we assess the situation and take some preventive measures, like carrying an umbrella is a preventive measure for rain. This type of analysis facilitates a balance between risk and risk reduction. Risk analysis often work with a forecasting professional to minimize future negative or unforeseen effect, like getting wet in a rain. Okay, now risk register is a register or list of risks that might occur for a given execution. And what we need, we normally build a list of risks, which is called risk register. It's a project management terminology. Okay, and this way the risk analysis is an integral part of project management. And we normally tend to assess all the risk. We say we tend to assess all the risk, like natural calamity, floods, tornadoes, heavy rain, so on and so forth, heavy snowfall, and these are included in your project management risk register. Risk register normally maintained by the project manager or the scrum master. Okay, again, risk analysis itself is a really huge task. Depending upon the opportunities, depending upon the particular region, there could be a risk imminent. Like for St. Louis, there's no risk of heavy snowfall, no risk for heavy tornadoes and all. In Stamford, Connecticut, I have seen 2 or 3 really heavy snowfall. So there are around 2 feet snows within a night, and then even opening your door if you're staying in a ground floor is a challenge. And if you're staying up, you could see all things are white and bright early in the morning. And I know from Indian standpoint, it's really a a good eye-pleasing moment. But if you're actually in the snow, you know what type of challenges you normally hit with such scenario. I don't believe New Jersey have extensive snow, right?
Mm.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So this kind of there are some regional risks, and we try to avoid these regional risks with certain what you can say alternative measures, like working from home from a tornado areas, and if there are any tornado warnings, heavy snowfall warnings, and so on and so forth. Okay, let me play you a good video, and it's really great tutor itself. Risk management itself is a good analytical position. So there are a risk analyst. You can go and have a look at the job descriptions, and we can discuss it in our next session. If you want to be a risk manager or risk analyst, risk analyst is the first steps. Then there are risk managers. By default, we Indians are a good risk manager. जो हम लोग जुगाड़ बोलते हैं ना, those are basically risk averting techniques. हम लोगों को बचपन से ये सिखाया गया है कि अगर निगेटिव रिस्क है उसको फटाफट इग्नोर किया जाए. Don't keep wasting time in planning. But if you look at North American culture, they are more into strategic planning, strategic risk management, and so on and so forth. Okay, again, there are pros and cons in both ways. I believe we Indians work mostly means it's a general statement, not a thumb rule. We are also basically leaning towards more risk taking and more risk taking without major strategic decision making or thought process. But in European cultures or North American cultures, they normally have a good analytical measures while understanding a risk. They jot down certain graphs, make some strategic plans to avoid such risk. Okay. Now, how do you calculate this risk? It itself is a science. Okay. There are qualitative risk and there is a quantitative risk. Now, qualitative risk is as we have seen here. It's a detailed qualitative risk analysis. Okay. So these are a kind of graphical plotting in terms of a risk assessment matrix. There are few interviews where they've asked what is RAM in risk management. So you should remember risk management matrix is a table like this. So we normally try to categorize risk on likelihood and impact. So how that impact of risk can be, let's say if the weatherman says today it will rain, what do you think? Is it a low impact, minor impact, moderate impact, or what type of risk in your given region? How what you can say? How effective is the weatherman? Whatever channel you watch, whatever news channel you normally watch. Could you hear me, Sahil sir?
Yeah.
Okay. So if your weatherman says today it will rain, as a person, how do you react, or how do you think? How good is the probability of rain occurrence? Low, high, medium?
Low.
Low. Okay. So it's a low impact thing. Okay. Likelihood is sorry. The likelihood is low, so the impact will be also low because then I will not carry umbrella. But if I feel like even if he say there are chances of rain, and if I feel as a person it'll rain, then I'll carry an umbrella. Or I try to, plan my travel accordingly. Rather than a public transport, I might choose to go by my car. Again, depending upon the thought process, depending upon the assessment of risk, I might, what I can say, behave accordingly. So risk assessment matrix is a visualization tool that helps project managers, risk analysts to map out the likelihood of each risk occurring by its potential impact. Could you think of any example to put on this risk matrix just to practice for a practice?
Yeah, I can do that later.
Okay, no problem. It provides an avenue by which risk managers prioritize and recommend that the project managers effectively manages risk. And when potential risk occurs, it helps to guide the professionals on the risk and warrant immediate attention and resource. Okay. Normally, these steps in risk analysis. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's stop here. Okay, because I know it's a big thing. Watch the video. Try to find couple of examples on risk, and we might revisit this risk analysis and try to understand if you want to do if you want to be a risk analyst as well. Okay. Just
Okay.
have a look at a couple of job description, and then we can basically go from there. Okay.
Okay.
Let's meet again tomorrow. Till that time, bye bye. Take care. Good night.
Bye. Bye.